So how do new realtors get committed clients in 2022? Let's talk about it and stick to the end because I'm going to share 3 power tools that are going to help you gain confidence and really become way more effective through the process of converting leads. So I wanted to make an update to one of the most popular videos of my channel, which is how new realtors gain clients. And I'm going to talk tactically about that in a minute, but as I was actually creating this video, it occurred to me that we're kind of all in new agents territory, right? And I think this is a really important thing for experienced, seasoned agents and new agents to understand. And the question that keeps coming up for me, especially when I'm speaking with new clients that are coming into my real estate business, is does experience really even matter anymore? So while yes, it's really important to understand how the real estate process works, how to get a client from, escrow to close, how to really discern between complex contract documents, that stuff is really important for sure. But, in this market, we are experiencing the lowest levels of inventory possible. We are experiencing way more complexities due to the supply chain challenges that we're seeing, the need for new homes, massive exoduses of populations going and moving to different markets. There's a lot going on, and this is brand new territory for even the most seasoned real estate agents. And I think that especially if you are a new real estate agent and you're speaking with clients and this objection comes up, I think this is a really important point to make. And so if we're talking specifically how to convert new clients and get that commitment, here's the script that I would offer. I would say, while I haven't actually been licensed that long, I am backed by great experience in terms of having a great broker and a team leader. Now, if this is not the case for you yet, I'm going to explain how you can make this happen in a moment, but let's continue with the script. Now, even though I'm not the most experienced agent around, I do want to make the point that we are actually in unprecedented territory with this real estate market. This is the lowest inventory market that any agent, regardless of experience, has ever seen. And there are really unique, complex challenges that many of my clients have been experiencing that require a really specific skill set and attitude to help them achieve their goals. Now, here's where I come in. And at this moment, you get to turn this away from how much experience you actually have as a new agent and highlight the transferable skills that you have from whatever past experience, work experience you have, or education experience you have, and share how that's relevant to your prospect. Now, the beautiful part of this is completely unique to you, right? This is your time to really stand out from the competition because nobody has your unique skill set or your experiences, your personality, your attitude. All of that are ways that you can differentiate yourself that really adds value as long as you know how to make that relevant to your prospect. That's going to be way more impressive than just how long you've had your license or how many deals you've actually closed. Now, let's take this a step further. Yes, the amount of experience you actually have does matter to a lot of clients, and it makes sense because what the objection really is here is, from their perspective, I'm worried about my level of risk. And the whole point of a buyer or seller hiring a real estate agent and having them in their corner is to mitigate their risk. And you have to understand what this actually means as a new agent. So if this is indeed the core objection, this is where you get to get really specific about how you help them mitigate their risk. Are they worried about the risk in terms of the legal obligation of buying or selling a home? If that's the case, there's a lot of things that you can do to prepare yourself as a new agent to help show them your commitment to helping them alleviate their risk. I'm going to share that with you at the end of the video, so stick with me here. So after you have shared this little bit and overcome the objection of how much experience you really have, this is your moment to return back to the core pain points and desires of this prospect. Now, if you are having a conversation with this prospect, you might likely be at this point in the middle of a buyer consultation or a listing appointment. Now, if that's the case, you should not even be getting to this point until you've already spoken with this prospect for 20 minutes and made the first 20 minutes of this consultation all about them, where you are fact-finding. The most important thing that you can do in the beginning of a consultation with a buyer or seller, the most important thing you can do is make it all about them. Ask questions, learn about their situation, and really figure out what their needs are, what their pain points are, what they want, and what they fear. Now, after you've spent 20 minutes really digging into what this actually looks like for them, we can then take that back further into the conversation when this objection comes up about your experience. And after you've overcome and made that really important point of whether or not experience is actually necessary or relevant in this market, you can then flip that conversation back on them. And I would say this: now, Mr. Seller, from what you've described to me, these are your pain points. Like, this is what's really important to you. And what you've told me is that it's really important for you to net as much money possible from the sale in order for you to be able to buy the next dream home for your family in the perfect district, which happens to be super, super competitive in this market. Now, did I hear you right with that? And when they say yes, that is where you affirm. And then we go back to affirming and say, I hear you. And that's what's really important to me too, because if that's what you want, that is my mission. Now, here's specifically how I can help you accomplish that. And now this is where you get to share some of the skills that you bring to the table and really get specific in the tools and strategies that you would use to help get that seller into their dream goal of buying their new home. Now, do you see how suddenly this allows you to get back on the same page, on the same team with your prospect and unify each other into going on this journey to a similar goal? Like, that's a way more effective place to quote unquote sell from and get a commitment than just trying to be defensive and overcoming why you don't have a lot of experience. Now, of course, to get to this level of proficiency in terms of actually speaking to your clients from a place of authority, this is going to take some practice, right? And it's going to take a little bit of digging as well. And so that's why these are the power tools that I have to offer you to help you really gain confidence so that this really gets to a place of rolling off the tongue and feeling comfortable and authentic for you. The first power tool that I have for you is to read your contracts. If you are a new agent, you have no business, and I'm not afraid of saying this, you have no business representing any clients until you have read your contract documents a minimum of 50 times. So when we are bringing on agents onto our team, because I am an actively producing agent, when we're bringing on agents onto our team and training them, the first thing we do if they're brand new is have them read these contracts a minimum of 50 times. So this might look like 7 to 10 times a day over the span of a week, okay? Because that is the only way you can really begin to understand the playbook by which these transactions are going to happen. And a lot of times you're going to get questions from your clients and the answers are in the contracts. The contract is the playbook or the blueprint by which the entire transaction is going to flow. And it is your fiduciary responsibility to understand that, number one, but number two, it's also going to help you feel more confident in having the answers to so many questions that you might get asked by your prospects. Now, the second most important thing you can do is get a mentor. Now, this can look like any number of things. Number one, this can look like joining a brokerage where you have a direct line to the broker or a managing broker and somebody who has a lot of experience that can back you up in these situations. And I don't mean having them walk with you through the entire transaction. I mean having somebody on the phone to help you when you get stuck up in a really complex contract situation. Because while reading the contracts is really important, the way they are executed will be different for every single client. You will never write the same contract twice. And sometimes a lot of weird contingencies can pop up, and it's important to be able to have access to somebody who can walk you through those. And that is also a great selling point when you're overcoming the objection of not having a lot of experience. It's really easy to say, well, Mr. Seller or buyer, while I haven't been in the industry for too long, I am backed by 30 years of experience with my broker who I have a direct line to. So if anything were to come up that I was not able to handle in that moment, rest assured I have the person backing me up who is the best in doing that. And finally, you have to invest in yourself and work on growing and systemizing your business. I'm really interested a lot of times when I'm speaking with agents who are not willing to invest in their business in terms of coaching and mentorship and investing in the right systems for their business. I'm interested when they're not willing to do that, but they expect the public to invest in them. I'm not sure where the disconnect is, because if you want to be a top agent, if you want to earn a great income and create really great impact for your community, you have to be willing to invest in yourself first. And a lot of times I get agents who come to me saying, well, Steph, I want to get a couple deals under my belt before I hire a coach, or I want to get to this level before I, start to bring on more assistants or buy that CRM or invest in X, Y, and Z. When really those investments are what get you to that point. And I've worked with lots of agents who spent years behind the 8 ball wondering why they're never able to get to the next level, and it's always because they were not willing to invest in themselves. And just as somebody who has been in this business for nearly a decade, I've seen it far too often. And so that's my third power tool to use. Be ready to invest in the right systems and resources for your business. Now, this is exactly why I teach real estate agents the marketing strategies that gain them an unfair advantage in their marketplace, regardless of experience level. And then I teach them the systems they need to make this effortless. So if that is interesting to you and you want to get your business on the right start, I would love to hear your story and see if we are a good fit. All of the links and information to book a call with me to speak about the Market Authority Academy, which is my coaching and mentorship program, are below. So check that out, and I hope that we get to connect soon. If you found value from this video, I gotta ask you a favor. If you can, be sure to like this video, and while you're at it, hit subscribe so that we can stay in touch and you will be notified the next time I'm dropping new videos just like this. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, keep on crushing it.